Hello, Dumelang, Sanbonani, Molueni, and a warm welcome to the Maths Genius video tutorial series brought to you by SABC Education. In these tutorials, we help you unleash the mathematical genius in you by showing you key mathematical concepts and how you can master them for success like a true genius.
Today we're going to be talking about complex numbers. So I know the name is very intimidating, they're not as complicated. So, have you ever wondered, what is the square root of a negative number? Square root of -1. In school, they'll tell you that it can't, right? It can't. But when you've done further maths, you'll find that the square root of 1 can be quantified, but it's classified as a complex number. So in complex analysis, you'll find that square root of -1 would be equal to I. Yes, the number I, the letter I represents the square root of -1. So that means that if we're saying the square root of -4, you'll find that we are saying it's equal to the square root of -1 times 4, which is the same as square root of -1 times square root of 4. These, if you look at your laws of exponents, right, or laws of surds, you'll see that this makes sense, right? You can split because of the multiplication, but we'll look at that when you're looking at laws of exponents. So it's going to be equal to, because the square root of -1 is I, so this is going to be I, and the square root of 4 is 2. So your answer would be 2I. So the square root of -4 is 2I. Instead of saying -1, it can't, you're saying the square root of -4 is equal to 2I, where the I is the complex part, right? So overall, this would be the complex part. So complex numbers, right, have two parts. The first part is the real part. Okay, let me write it like this. Complex part equals to, real numbers equals to real part plus complex part. Right, like that. So, what do I mean by this? A general complex number is of the form A plus BI, where A and B are real numbers, right? Where A and B are elements of the set of real numbers. So, in this example, it means that this is your complex part and this is your real part. Using numbers now, we would have a situation where we have maybe 2 plus 3i, where the 2 is your real part and the 3i is your complex part. So, from today onwards, just know that the square root of -1, in as much as in school they say it can't, it can be extended to the complex set of numbers, where now you represent the square root of -1 as I. So, take the complex numbers as an extension of real numbers, where you're saying this real number can be any real number. And you know real numbers are natural numbers, whole numbers, integers, rational numbers, irrational, right? All those are real numbers. They can be part of this. But now, the complex part is actually a combination of the real and the square root of -1. So from today onwards, know that the square root of a negative number actually exists. Thank you.
Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Unleash your mathematical genius today. If you have any maths questions, you can post them for free on www.mathsgenius.co.za or email them to info@mathsgenius.co.za.